What's up, buddy? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to the Lights of Metal. Gonna be doing a rock metal update. That's right, I'm going to be doing another rock metal update. This is all cassettes. Not a huge update, but I got a few things to show here, so let's get right into it. A buddy of mine gave me some of his old cassettes, so that's what some of these are. This first one was one he gave me. This is the original Vengeance Human Sacrifice before they were forced to change their name to Vengeance Rising. I bought this album brand new as a new release when it came out. Walked into this, I was working for a moving company, furniture company, delivering furniture, and on one of my runs I drove by this Christian book music store, and anytime I saw any music store anywhere, if I could, I'd stop in during my lunch break and look at it, check it out. Well, in this case, I did my delivery. On the way back, I stopped in the store for my lunch break, and I went and I listened to this they had like a demo listening center, and was blown away. This was 1989, and I was like, wow. And I loved this album. Brought it back. I was in college at the time, so I was working for the company in the summertime. So when I went back that fall to college, I brought it. I was playing it for all my roommates and their, my buddies, and everybody was really into it. So it was a great album. And I remember making the comment to one of my roommates, "Man, if I ever was in a band someday, I wanted to be in a band just like this." Go figure. I ended up singing for these guys. I ended up singing for Vengeance from 2002 through 2004 during the they did the Return with the Vengeance reunion show. We changed the name to Once Dead, but it was Vengeance under the name Once Dead, and we did the DVD called Return with the Vengeance. But anyhow, great album, really raw thrash metal. The early roots of death metal here too, with those really raw vocals. So if you don't know who Vengeance are and you're a thrash fan, you're missing out. They are a Christian band, so if that turns you off, I don't know why it would. Those vocals are so raw and extreme. You probably don't understand most of the words anyhow, unless you really read into them. But Roger Martinez was the vocalist, and he had a very interesting style of writing vocals anyhow. So he wasn't writing, cheesy striper rock for the rock kind of stuff. He was writing more in-depth biblical stuff, so kind of cool. All right, then two from LA Thrashers, Viking. This is their first album, Do or Die, and then, of course, Man of Straw. I like them both, but to be honest, Man of Straw is the album I heard first from these guys. I didn't hear Do or Die till years after I heard Man of Straw. So Man of Straw has always been one of my favorite thrash metal releases. Just great band from LA. Daniel Erickson, of course, has kept this band alive, and they put out an album a couple years ago as well, a new album. And then also these have been reissued several times on vinyl and CD. But if you can get the No Child Left Behind from, I think it was 2021 or 2020, somewhere in that area, maybe 2019, that's worth getting to. All three Viking albums are great, in my opinion. All right, next up, this is Heretic. Breaking Point, this is their first full-length album. They had an EP that preceded this, but in the meantime, they had gotten a new vocalist, Mike Howe, who lasted with the band just long enough to record the album and do some shows, and then he was stolen by Metal Church, and then the remaining guys from Heretic ended up forming a band called Reverend with David Wayne from Metal Church. So basically, Heretic and Metal Church swapped vocalists, but Heretic also changed their name to Reverend. So it's a great album. If every metalhead should have this album in their collection, especially if you're into stuff like Metal Church or Reverend or Heretic. Kind of that classic U.S. power metal sound, pushing towards thrash, but just more in the vein of Metal Church with fantastic vocals too. So rest in peace, Mike Howe. Of course, we lost not that long ago. All right, next up, allergies are driving me crazy. Sorry if I touch my nose once in a while. This is Neon Cross. This is the self-titled album. These guys were kind of a band from the early days of the LA strip scene. They weren't playing glam. It's just straightforward heavy metal, but they were playing alongside all those other bands. When Motley Crue was an unknown band, they were playing. When all those bands were on the LA strip, and that was that big scene. Neon Cross were one of the bands that were playing there. Great bands. Simplistic, straightforward heavy metal, not glam metal whatsoever. So don't think that. But if you do like, that early heavy metal sound, early '80s heavy metal sound from California, that's what you got going on here with Neon Cross. Next up, This is Metal Massacre 9. And this was given to me again by a friend of mine, Glenn Rogers, who plays in a band called Primal, who's actually playing in the background, in case anybody cares. But he was in a band called Steel Vengeance. He's been in Hyrax. He's been in Heretic. He's been in all kinds of different bands. So, in any case, he gave me this one. I'm trying to see the track list and tell you who's on it, but it is itty bitty little type. So, let's see if I open it up if it's any bigger on the inside. Ah, yes, it is. A little bit more readable on the inside. So we got Banshee, We Want You, great band, great song. Oliver Magnum, another great band. Toxic, who I showed in my last vinyl update video, great speed metal band. We've got Dissenter, Red Rum, Pedophile, that's an unfortunate name for a band. Chaos Horde, Faith or Fear, great thrash metal band from Philadelphia, I believe. The Wrath, and Overdose. So there you go, Metal Massacre 9. Not too long ago, we did on the Metal Roundtable, we did a Best Metal Massacre release video. And I believe this is one of the ones that Rob Caldwell had showed. So, alright, next up, Iced Earth, Night of the Storm Rider, Century Media, original cassette pressing. I love Iced Earth, so I don't care what anybody says about them. I'm a big fan. So anything that when I find stuff like this, I snag it up. Even though I don't listen to cassettes that often, still a cool collectible. Iced Earth, great band. All right, this is a demo from a band called Fuzz Voyage, kind of your slow, doomy stoner rock kind of stuff. Someone sent me an email saying, "Hey, check these guys out," and I liked it, so I supported it. I bought it. Independent release. Fuzz Voyage, you can get it on their Bandcamp. There's the name if you want to check it out. Really good stuff. I dig, underground stuff like that. They sent me a sticker too, which unfortunately does not kind of fit in the cassette, or otherwise I would keep it in there. Yeah, it kind of sticks out. But Fuzz Voyage, great underground stoner, doom, whatever you want to call it, rock. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, got some American power metal. This is Recon behind Enemy Lines. Great. If you like that first Queensryche EP, give this a try. You'll probably dig this. These guys have this underground cult following. People love this album. I know Rox Records has put this thing out on vinyl several times, only for it to sell out, and they put it out again. So they've never put out another album. They do have a live album that came out that was kind of recorded at Cornerstone, which is okay. It's a warts and all recording, let's put it that way. But this is fantastic. They never recorded anything else. It's a shame because they were such a great band. I think three of the five members of this band ended up moving into Deliverance, especially George Ochoa, the guitar player. He was, of course, the guy who co-wrote most of the Weapons of Our Warfare album, and also I think produced it too. So, Recon behind Enemy Lines. By the way, if you like Deliverance, you might like this too, because Jimmy Brown from Deliverance actually plays on this record. And there's a song in here. Let's see if I can remember which song it is. Yeah, it's the title track, Behind Enemy Lines. I think he actually even had a hand in helping write that song, so there you go. Alright, next up, this is the brand new album from Bride called Awake. There's only 100 of these cassettes available, bluesoverstock.com. Really good album. I'm really enjoying the new Bride. I got it on vinyl. I got it on CD, so I haven't even popped the cassette open. Literally have this CD sitting right here. There's the CD version of it. This is actually the gold disc version. You can get a silver disc or a gold disc deluxe version. What's the difference between the gold and the silver deluxe version? The gold deluxe version has two collector cards in it. It actually is pressed on gold, and it has that nice O card on it. So, but this is a CD, and we're talking cassettes. So, if you're interested in the Bride cassette, boonsoverstock.com. Like I said, only 100 pressed, so not a whole lot of them out there. Really good band, really good release though. It's probably one of my favorites of the last few years from them. Pretty much straight up metal. If you like, the last couple albums, Snake Eyes, or I can't remember the name of the follow-up is, but regardless, any of the last three albums, all three have been really good in my opinion. All right, this is the first Bloodgood Metal Missionary. This is their first demo release. It was 4 tracks, I believe. Let's see here. Yes, Awake, Accept the Lamb, Anguish and Pain, and Battle of the Flesh. This is an original pressing. Again, this was given to me by a buddy, so very cool to have an original Bloodgood Metal Missionaries demo cassette. This is a mint copy of the Joe Perry Project's Let the Music Do the Talking, and I've shown this in past videos before. Matter of fact, I complained about this one because trying to find a good copy of this, impossible. I literally have like 3 copies of this that are trashed. That I buy them cheap, you know, I get them like $5 or whatever, but it's not even worth $5 if the tape's this tape is unplayable, and that's the case with most of the copies that I found. This one, it sounds like it's never been played. It's absolutely mint, so very cool. A remastered version of Aerosmith Live Bootleg. I have the original cassette pressing of this, but you don't see these remastered versions much, but it's got this big old long booklet of, you know, photos and memorabilia, and the CD versions of these remasters have all that stuff too, but it's really cool to see the cassette version of this. I'd never actually seen the remastered cassette. The original versions have very minimal packaging. Most cassettes do, but this one's kind of nice. But again, Aerosmith, when I see this kind of stuff, anything Aerosmith, I'll grab it. Alright, this was actually given to me by another friend of mine who was moving, and he had some extra cassette cases he didn't need, so she's like, hey, $20 you can have them. So I took the cases, and then he gave me this cassette as well. So this is Kiss Love Gun. No idea, you know, when this one came out. I'm assuming it's, I don't know. The year on here is 77, but that doesn't mean much. I mean, who knows when it was released, but love Kiss, so I was like, yeah, thanks, man. So Kiss Love Gun. And then the last 2 for this update are both Raven. So this is Life is a Bitch. This was their move from Neat Records to the big Atlantic Records, where they were supposed to be one of the biggest bands in the world. And I don't know, I like this album, but it's just not as good as the first 3. The first 3 were crazy hyper speed. The raw production, the almost live recording just added to the appeal, whereas this is more tame. They just lost something in the mix, and it's still a good album. Like I say, I like it, but it's just not their best album. I think having producers and Atlantic Records kind of squashed this band, and that is especially true with this one, which I'm not a fan of this album at all, but I am a Raven fan, so it's kind of a one that I keep because it's, you know, part of their history. But this is Packets Back. There's a few good songs on here, but overall, it's very poppy sounding for them. Even the look, you know, it almost looks like an Athletic Twisted Sister going on there. And I mean, there's horns on this thing. I mean, that's just not what you expect from, you know, the guys who gave us, you know, Break the Chain, Athletic Rock, and Rock Until You Drop, and all those great new wave of British heavy metal classics from back in the day. So Raven, always looking for Raven stuff to add to my collection, so there you go. That's it. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Stay strong.